Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pen with the AI. This is Man speaking. Today I'm going to share about my learning experience while using the AI tool to assist with my art creation for this painting. So as you can see in here, the first thing I'm trying to do is to determine the composition. So using the line drawing come with the color blocks. One major thing I learned about using the AI tools, which is the color actually is very important element. By what I mean is like the line, you doesn't need to be very refined, but I think to have a very clear about the color, especially also in turn about the value, brightness, are also very important. You can see here, I try to make have the composition I have in my mind to be defined, which is you can see will be a Asian girls just being grabbed by two giant hands, and I'm trying to get the color to the degree that I would like. So you can see I grabbed some also some color texture from the internet. So there's a many free image like a download website you can go to. To me, I will usually using some reference of the photo that I took by myself, or I also using Adobe image stock, which I'm not sure is it free or not, but because I subscribe to Photoshop, so I do notice I can use them for like a download certain resolution for free as well. And then yeah, so back to the painting now is now I'm adding the shadow. As I say, I found it's more important to have the colors being defined. And after I have a basic the compositions ready, I just do the screenshot and then put my composition to the ComfyUI in here. Yeah, I'm using the stable diffusion and then to do the running the prompt. And if you want to see what prompt I use, I think you should be able to just pause and then to look at it. But mainly, I would say similar as I described. It's like a Asian girl be grabbing with a giant hands. And here, one funny thing is like I try to ask to create the giant hand with the more like a tree trunk kind of texture. But maybe because it's so close to the clothing of the character, so the comfy UI just it keeps generate make the hands become more and more like a silk kind of scarf, that kind of object. And one thing I would say, usually this kind of case, don't bother too much. If you have some basic kind of painting skill, you can usually I'll try a few times, and then if you are tweaking some value, if I found the result is not really what I want, then I would just directly bring it back to the Photoshop. And as you can see in here, like I just grab like the image I think in general that works the best. Don't worry too much about the detail, but right now just focusing on the general fields. Try to find the one that you think about, or what one makes the most sense or closest to the idea you have. Don't worry about the character's face looking very weird, the feet looks weird. Don't worry too much about that because we can fix that very easily later on. So as you can see, also I give out the idea about to let the AI to know what kind of hand texture I want. I just directly to paint over on top of it. Try to give it another secondary kind of detail. As you can see, the first detail we give just like a basically just color blocks, just like oh yeah, red skin color, purple, those kind of color, and try to see how far the AI can help us to approach. And then if something feel weird, then we can come back, refine it, and then we can get it to the AI as I'm You can see in here, I'm just like trying to get something work. Here's I'm trying to fix in the feet. So this is a part I don't notice later on after I finish the recording. This was a new kind of tools. Is from ChatGPT. So I basically, yeah, I forgot to bring that browser to the recording screen. So I'm missing that part of on the video. But basically, I just screenshot and then send it to the ChatGPT and describe what I want, and then to let the ChatGPT to repaint it for me. It turned out the result is quite great. And as the feed you can see there, I think there's no much complaint. It's already pretty good. And then in terms of here, I'm still not really focusing too much on the detail yet. The reason I'm fixing the feet is just like because I want to pen the hands, so to make sure to define how much area the feet should occupy. I feel is quite important to here, but you can see I'm still focusing on the value here. Value is very important. The brightness. Um, if you can have a good definition of the brightness on your painting, usually no matter what kind of color or you are putting on won't go wrong too much. And once I'm more satisfied about the value, now I start to come back to the face. So I'm trying to get some like the character uh, feeling that I want. So again, in here, the curl should be looks painful because it's been grabbing is involuntarily. But again, don't worry. I still not to worry too much about the facial expression on the character, because at this moment, again, AI should just help us to uh, shorten the time on the rendering. And that's one of my take on how artists should be work along with the AI. We shouldn't really be controlled by AI. So about what I'm doing here is just like the value in general is kind of working. So I'm thinking about maybe we can do another pass on the AI and then to see how it can help us to improve in general. Because here's another attempt. I try to uh, ask the UI to create the hands with the texture that I want, but you can see somehow probably in general nowadays the AI still only works the best with the regular character. You can say like in the daily life. So this kind of hand with a weird texture usually is not really common. So I won't blame the AI won't understand um, what kind of result I'm trying to get. But I think that's okay still. So after a few, you can see I try after a few attempts, I start giving up. But that's okay. I mean, if this doesn't work, we always have other way to achieve what we want. As you can see here, I just go back to the like old school way, just like finding the texture reference through the library I have, and then start to apply to those like texture on it and just paint over it. So again, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really don't. I would say at this moment, as a professional artist, at least I'm working be in the industry for years. Um, One very important thing is just don't let any tool restrain about what you want to do. If you have a very strong feeling about what you want, and then certain one tool doesn't able to achieve that, I will say don't be afraid, and then you can always just try to find other way to achieve that. This creating art is a very creative like a experience. So don't get too, yeah, just don't let the technology restrain about what you are trying to do. And you can see here now I'm going back to the face, start to paint over it to start to let her to have the feeling, the mood that I want in my mind. So as I say, the tool should help us to speed up our process. And then if you have the skill to kind of modify the painting, then you don't need to worry too much. You don't need to really kind of keep clicking the button and hopefully won the lottery to see the AI generate something you want. So I think that's just like alongside more project you make, you will start to realize about, oh, if I'm spending more on something that might not worth it of my time. And after I finish the painting, now you can see here I'm just trying to add more some details, adding more like some skin texture, also the sweat on the character, also refine the ear here. Yeah, AI still will making some kind of weird weird ears from time to time. But I feel I'm pretty happy about the hand it create this time. Is like surprisingly, because usually I will have a expectation that I will need to repaint all the hands and feet to, when I like use try to using the AI to help me to do the first pass on the painting. So in general, I feel the character is quite good now. So I'm going back to the hands, since this is the part that AI doesn't really help much on our hand. So we it's like I'm not surprisingly, I would say this might will take more time for me to really to polish it. But this also is just like a fun part, right? I mean, um, it still will feel quite amazed about how much the technology can help you to progress, and then be able to kind of like help you speed up a lot of like kind of like the painting process, so you can really focusing on more on the fun part about how you be able to um, take what idea in your mind come to on the paper, and be able to share with other people to see what been foreseen in your mind, and then to present to other people. Yeah, I think that's a very very cool kind of time that we have at this moment. But of course, I know that there is a some um, there's still some argument between the AI art and then the human art. But I will say, to me, I feel AI is kind of interesting kind of tools, no matter regardless you like it or not. But it does have his kind of strengths on it, and then I will. I feel at least I should knowing it more before I really jump to the conclusion to say it's good or bad. Because I believe come to the end, they all will be just like a tool, and then if people really don't think the tool work as good as what they want, then the tool will just be kicked out. Yeah. But again, so it's just like some of my take about how I viewing the AI tool so far. But on the other side, you can see I just keep refining the hands. That basically takes the most of the time, and then now I also come back to the feet a little bit, um, or maybe later on. I do the painting first, and then now I just do the recording. So yeah, but I do know later on I will also just refine the feet a little bit more for this character, and then just like come to this moment, I'll say the painting actually you can consider is almost like a 80%, 70% kind of done. Now all the rest is just like some more finer details, kind of like to polish it. Usually, I feel this is a moment um, also cool. You can say kind of fun to me. At least as I feel just like a because everything start to really look like what you are expecting, and then you just like start to oh yeah, let's add some highlight on the character. That's usually somehow I feel that's one of the most satisfying thing for me. Maybe just because that also a torturing to the end, and then usually that is just also could be you can consider the least effort you can do, but will make the painting somehow kind of bump up to the another level. Yeah. So yep. In here, I'm just like also doing some fine tuning. I think I still kind of experience about certain kind of thing. Including maybe I still kind of try to see if how the AI can maybe all of a sudden it can start to work. No, oh that's hands with a tree trunk texture. But I guess I just like try it one last time. Then okay, all right, I will do it by myself. No biggie. Yeah. Mm. So here, just like yeah, at this moment, I found a really intriguing kind of texture of the tree. I think that's the amber tree, I believe. Maybe or maybe I'm not sure, but my memory told me it's a amber tree, and I found that texture actually is pretty kind of. It's just very interesting. Adding more kind of fun part to it, and then I just feel like maybe I can try to add more like some other fun stuff onto the hand. So I feel like oh, since also have a red color in the background in the bottom, then why not just maybe make this more like a flaming hand? Since the original idea of this painting is more like the oh yeah, either you can say the character was in her nightmare, or maybe it's just every the composition and story is already kind of surreal. So it wouldn't harm or to add more flavor to the hands, or to indicate about to kind of add slightly more imagination about oh what where this character located. Yeah. So yeah, after I feel adding some flame and then some burning uh, texture on the hands is quite cool. I start to just working on that on both hands. And also now I'm back to the earring. Try to refine it. And in here, I also just try to see what kind of um, idea that AI can help me with. So that's it. Hopefully you will enjoy the video I shared today, and looking forward to share with you guys another painting I made with the AI. See you soon.